Hey, this is your boy the Duck coming at you with a gun review. I know we haven't been doing a lot of reviews lately, but we're gonna get back in the swing of things here. Just wrapped up doing a lot of shooting, been doing a lot of range days on several different guns. So this one we're gonna be talking about something a little bit out of the price range that you typically see on this channel. Probably not the lowest we're going to be talking about here in the next couple weeks, but one I've had for a long time, and this was kind of the gun that got me into 1911s, surprisingly. My uncle actually had one of these, and I went out and bought the same exact gun, and it's actually what kind of made me a believer in 1911s, and surprisingly one of the first 1911s I ever carried. So, and that is the Springfield Milspec. I mean, we're talking about as basic as it comes here. But before we get into this gun, let's go through the spec sheet. So let's throw some of that beautiful turntable footage that you guys have been liking and talk about the specs on this thing. So, well, we got a government length 45. You know it's got to be in 45 ACP. That's just the name of the game. It is a forged frame and slide. It has a parkerized finish on it. Doesn't look pretty, but definitely keeps that bad boy, you know, looking war ready, I guess. Has a stainless match grade barrel, obviously in 5" because it's a government length. Fixed combat sights, very basic, about as basic of sights as you can get. Short length trigger, nothing fancy there. Does have a one side, so only the left side of the gun for right-handed shooters. GI style safety, which again definitely is nothing to write home about. Comes typically with an arched mainspring housing, but I swapped it out for a Ed Brown because it also has the magwell on it, because it does not come with a magwell. So I have now the flat mainspring housing and magwell from Ed Brown. And then it does come with just some basic, I believe they're Coca-Cola wood grips. Again, swap those out. This is actually something I've swapped out several times on this gun. I've recently put some Packmeyer grips on it that I was a little curious. I've been seeing a lot of old school retro mods kind of doing the Packmeyer grips, and I wanted to try them out because I had never had them on any of my 1911s before, and I definitely did enjoy those. So again, the Milspec from Springfield. This is not meant to be a fancy gun. This is meant to be about as basic. I mean this is the bottom of the line of the Springfield catalog right here for 1911s, but that definitely doesn't make it a bad shooting gun. So with that being said, let's go to the range, show you a little bit of footage on that, and then we'll come back and talk some pros and cons here. So as you can see, this thing shoots. Now, with that being said, this is a beater gun. I mean, that's probably the best way I can put this. This is a beater gun. It's nothing pretty to look at. I mean, I did some color fill years ago when that was a cool thing to do with your Glocks. I did it on this thing too. I mean, again, this is a gun I've had probably going on 15-ish, 20, maybe, no, longer, almost 20 years probably. And it's a shooter. I mean, I've shot it. As you can see, I've never really done anything to it other than simply the grips and then putting a magwell on it. Once I started getting a little bit more into 1911s and I saw the advantages of those magwells for reloads, I definitely wanted to put a magwell on it. But otherwise, I mean, we're talking just basic. I mean, look at that rear sight. I mean, that's about as basic as it comes. It's got just a standard little white bead front sight. But I mean, this thing runs. If you're looking for a gun that just feels like a tank, I mean, the fit and finish on it honestly isn't bad. I mean, definitely not, you know, blended edges or anything like that. But I mean, it does what it's supposed to do. I mean, this is literally the bread and butter 1911. You know, trigger pull on it. Obviously, I've had this a lot of years, so it's a little broke in. But I mean, you can see it has a little bit of take up. It's not, you know, the most, you know, solid trigger, but I mean, it's a little loose. But it has a good defined wall, and then clean brake. I mean, it's broke in at this point, so I would say it's easily a 3-pound, maybe 4-pound trigger. I mean, and it does what it's supposed to do. I mean, really, there's not much to say on this gun. This is about as basic bread and butter as it comes. But I did want to throw this out there. You know, I get kind of the claims. I see a lot of comments on some of my other 1911 reviews, you know, yet another one that I'm never going to afford. So I just wanted to show you guys, you know what? You don't have to have high-end 1911s to enjoy 1911s. This is a gun that I've put, I would say, thousands of rounds through. This is what really kind of got me into 1911s. My uncle had one of these, and it just, you know, was kind of that old school GI looking, you know, this is supposed to be the, you know, kind of the throwback to the, you know, 2 World Wars 1911. And honestly, that's what it does. I mean, one of the big indicators of that, you can look at the safety on this thing. The safety on it is about, it's just a little nub. Like it's not even a ledge. I mean, it's literally just a little nub, but you practice with it. And especially if you're used to shooting 1911s and you know where to find it, it works. It's very positive. It does what it's supposed to do. But I mean, it's about as basic as they come. But again, this gun is definitely nothing to be laughed at. It shoots, it's accurate, it does what it's supposed to do. Springfield being Springfield, I mean, they make a good 1911. You know, I'm not gonna say they're great, but they're good. They're good 1911s. Again, I threw a magwell on here. That was a game changer for reloads. And these Packmeyer grips, this does not come with any front checkering on the front strap. So I will say these Packmeyer grips are probably one of the best solutions for creating some checkering on the front. I've seen where people take like skateboard tape and put it across the front and then kind of put the grips over them to, you know, kind of conceal the edges of it. That's a solution too. But these Packmeyer grips, they're kind of a sticky, rubbery, it's a hard texture to describe because it's not just a rubberized finish, but kind of a slick rubber. But slick not in a bad way. I don't know how to describe that. But honestly, even out, you know, we were actually doing some final B-roll footage yesterday because I had some B-roll footage that unfortunately one of my GoPros took a crap and it ruined the footage. So we was doing some more yesterday. It was, I think when I got in my truck, it was showing like 103 outside, stupid hot outside. And even with sweaty hands, these Packmeyer grips really do grip good. They're very comfortable. The only other knock I can kind of give on this gun is obviously it does not have that extended beaver tail. Not that my hands have ever been cut up by it. You know, some people talk about that hammer bite from it coming back and hitting them. I've never got that personally. I think there's just enough of a beaver tail there to kind of keep you from getting that. But you can definitely feel it digging in your hand a little bit more. So that's definitely something to consider as well. But again, wanted to bring you guys, and I'm going to be bringing you guys, I'm actually doing 3 different reviews today on some more budget-friendly 1911 options, because again, a lot of you guys claim that, you know, I don't have any budget-friendly 1911s I put out there. But I do have a couple. But I mean, not to be a smart-ass, but when you got $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 1911s, I will say breaking out the something I bought used for I think $500-600. If that, I think it might have even been cheaper than that. It was so long ago, I don't even remember. But why shoot this when you have those? You know, it's kind of like if you have a Lambo in the garage while you hop into that '85 Honda Civic. But if that's your thing, that's your thing. But I will say, I do like breaking these out from time to time, just kind of a back to basics. It makes you appreciate the nicer ones a little bit more sometimes, you know, because even if you got steak at home every day, you know, sometimes going out for a hamburger tastes good too. So, again, Springfield Milspec, great gun, highly recommend. Obviously, they're got newer versions of them. I've seen where the Garrison is kind of the more cleaned up version of their Milspec, but fantastic guns. If you can find an old used Milspec, they're probably going to be solid. Or even the newer Milspecs, they're solid. They come in Parkerized, they come in stainless. If you're looking for a stainless gun, I think they look pretty sharp, and they're again that classic old school look. These are meant to kind of mimic those, you know, 2 World War old school military 1911s, hence Milspec. So again, hopefully this is a good little video for you. Just a little info point. Again, like I always say, I don't claim to be an expert on these things, but I like to shoot them. I like to shoot 1911s. I've definitely became a 1911 guy. So I can highly recommend these Milspecs. They're solid guns. Also, if you're looking for a gun that maybe you want to change some parts out on and kind of learn how to do that kind of stuff, I could see where this would be a really good gun for that. Because again, all the core components are solid. You know, people talk about mem parts, and yes, there's definitely mem parts on this gun. But what you need to be forged solid, it's there. You know, this slide, the frame, you know, all the main components are solid. So if you wanted a gun to tinker around with, this would probably be a good gun for that as well. So again, hope you guys enjoy. Hope you guys are being safe out there. Again, follow us, like us, hate us, rate us on all the socials. We've been posting a lot more on Instagram these days. And I know I keep on saying I'm going to get back in the swing of things with YouTube, but I got a kid now. I'm a new house. It's been chaos. But I'm going to try to be a little bit more constant. So hopefully you guys will start seeing more and more content from me. But otherwise, enjoy what I got. I got more coming, I promise you. Stay safe. This is your boy the Duck saying quack, quack, and have yourself a wonderful day.